Bank of Japan left its monetary policy unchanged today. To discuss this with me now, Tetsuya Inoue from the Nomura Research Institute in Tokyo joins me on the line. The Bank of Japan said an economic recovery was underway as it kept monetary policy steady. This is the most optimistic view in 2.5 years, reflecting the positive impact of a weakening yen and its massive monetary stimulus on activity. This wasn't a surprise by many analysts, but Kuroda remarked that they could see a rise on worries about fiscal sustainability. What were your thoughts on today's decision, and do you see rates rising in the near future?
Yeah, first, I have several comments, at least. But first of all, that we have observed some good signs of economic recoveries, especially on the consumer consumption front. So that's why I think that that today's decision was the largely expected and reasonable, at least. And in relation to the fears about the JGB rates rising in the near future, that the reason why Mr. Kuroda mentioned this possibility to risk was that he would like to reply to that question asked by the one reporter that whether the Bank of Japan still thinks it's important to ask or request the government to maintain the strategy of fiscal consolidation. So I don't think that Kuroda was fearful about the near-term risk of the long-term rate rise in the near future because of the fears in the financial markets about the lack of the fiscal discipline or not. Rather, I think that the reason why Mr. Kuroda raised this issue was, I think that they would like to send a message to the government as well as the politicians, because that I think that the Minister of Finance as well as the Prime Minister himself is going to announce a more comprehensive medium-term or longer-term fiscal consolidation plan, possibly in late August or in the beginning of September.
It's the first time the Bank of Japan has signalled that Japan is on the path towards expansion in more than 2 years. Do you think Abenomics is already working?
Yeah, this is a very interesting question. I have a mixed feeling. In a sense, I have a mixed feeling about that. On the one hand, I think that the announcement of Abenomics has in a sense triggered the change in the minds, especially in the consumer or on the consumer front. That's why as I mentioned before, that both we observe the significant improvement of inflation expectation by the consumers, as well as the some signs of improvement of the improvement of the consumption expenditure, especially on the high-priced goods as well as luxurious goods front. But at the same time, I think that the true effects of Abenomics is to be expected at this moment. So I think that at this moment this is evidenced by the relatively cautious or lackluster reactions from the managers of Japanese corporations. So I think that the rest of at least half of the effect of the Abenomics is still to be expected.
The Bank of Japan board slightly cut its median forecast for core consumer inflation, but kept its estimate for fiscal 2015-16 unchanged at 1.9%. The projection remains far more ambitious than a private sector forecast, which is around 1%. In your opinion, are the Bank of Japan's price forecasts too optimistic?
Yeah, I think that even regardless of the possible negative impacts or the large swings of the aggregate demand caused by the expected sales tax hike in Japan in the next 2 years, I think they still, I still believe that the BoJ's price forecast seems to be too optimistic in a sense. But at the same time, I don't think that the absolute goal of the BoJ's policy is to achieve the 2% inflation in 2 years' time. Although it may sound ironic.
Yeah.
Rather, that like every central bank, I think that the BoJ's absolute goal of the monetary stimulus is to have the sustainable economic growth, possibly coupled with relatively higher inflation run than the current state. So I think that I think that the politicians as well as the general public might be satisfied with even the 1% inflation in 2 years' time, if it is coupled with a relatively higher rate of growth or the less the risk of deflation or risk of depreciation of Japanese yen. So I think that in a sense that the announcement of the ambitious target will be or should be regarded as the communication policy by the BoJ in order to change the deflationary mind or the pessimistic mind deeply rooted in ourselves.
Finally, as we've received positive growth forecasts from Japan today, what effect will this have on the rest of the markets?
Yeah, as I mentioned, I think that the basis or backgrounds for the relatively the positive outlook of BoJ is shared with the market participants. Still, I think that because the BoJ confirms that their growth strategy is still on track, I think that the market participants, especially the overseas market participants, should be relieved to find or seek the opportunities in Japanese asset markets, especially in the equity markets, I think.
Okay, and that's all we have time for today. We will leave it there for now. Bye for now.